Okay. Welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review, episode number 70. Yep. Yeah, it's something though. It's been a while since I've hit an anime review series hit at episode 70. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think the last one I could think of that may have hit the number, I think it may be either Case Closed or Black Clover. Well, that's what I could think of, but it's great, though, the fact that this one got this one far. Now, this episode adapts just for 2 chapters, 200 and 201. Now, what happens in this one? Well, we had to finish up the match of match 2. Yep, we finished this one here. Where, with this one, last week's episode ended with basically the whole area becoming with mushrooms. And, well, we have various people, well, Todoroki himself fights up against, well, he doesn't exactly fight Dark Shadow, the other guy. Yeah, they don't do any fighting this episode. He does take on the Mushroom Girl, but he ends up getting captured because of everything else going on. The comic guy ends up, well, at one point, get this, Invisible Girl's like covered head to toe with mushrooms, and Todoroki is moving them. And I'm thinking, though, Todoroki, you do realize, though, when you're moving mushrooms, you might actually touch her breast or something else. And yet, apparently, Invisible Girl has no problem with him touching her. Well, it just basically, he didn't touch her skin per se. He's moving all these mushrooms. And look, it's something that these mushrooms don't get into his eyes. I mean, they cover his face, but like his cheeks per se, but not his eye, because that would have been kind of weird. Otherwise, he couldn't freaking see if a mushroom grew out of his eye. Yep, as for Beast Fist, she has to take on Momo after Comic Man basically, well, traps her behind a wall, and of course, during the course, and she punches a bunch of metal, and then she summons a freaking cannon out of her chest, and that apparently just fires off into a bag of, like, good luck stuff. What's inside the thing? A disinfectant, some disinfectant for the mushrooms, and of course, a pair of night vision goggles. Interesting. And of course, Momo does not defeat Beast Fist. Beast Fist apparently defeats her off-screen. Yeah, they show us later on when she captures her. Apparently, she got knocked out cold, and she like partially ties her up. And of course, she shows up. Of course, she saves Mushroom Girl. By the way, they mentioned the Twinkle guy. They mentioned he got captured, and of course, Darkman is. I think it's Darkman. I think his name is. Nope, not this one. Let's see if I can find him here. Here he is. It's Darkback. Yeah, Darkback. Yeah, where like when you mentioned he captured the Twinkle guy, and of course she says good job, and he's like, wow, I impressed her. When he said that, I'm thinking like, what, does he have a thing for her? Yeah, I highly doubt it. I mean, it's possible it might. She's a lovely girl. I'm sure he probably does. But I'm sure she's probably not interested in him, probably because of his weight with his appearance. That's possible. Who knows? Oh yeah, and also Team Class A is defeated after pretty much everybody's captured. Comic himself basically get beaten up, though. Invisible Girl is captured by Beast Fist with her gigantic hand and squeezing her. And here's the thing, Invisible Girl apparently took off her gloves and boots, and I'm thinking like, Beast Girl, you do realize though you're grabbing a streaker. Yeah. But here's the thing about Invisible Girl that's always kind of bugged me. Like, has anybody actually seen what she looks like? I mean, what her face looks like? Yeah, it's kind of a mystery. It's been a mystery for the whole series. because she's always seen, like, when she's like, okay, superhero outfit, pair of gloves and boots. Okay. Alright, so, okay, that signifies she's there. But here's the thing. Like, why have we never seen her face in the series? I mean, is she a beautiful girl? Who the heck knows? I mean, her only ability is have being invisible. She can emit, like, very powerful light. Aside from that, she's a character who's not been really developed very much over the course of the series. In the case of the team you see here, Momo is the one Momo and Todoroki get a good amount of development over the course of the series. Not Invisible Girl. Nope, she doesn't. And Twinkle, he kind of does, but not much. Yep, also during the whole thing, we have Menta basically just basically being like overactive with the mushrooms. Now, Shudo and Deku basically point out about the strategies because, of course, Shudo, of course, knows that Momo is a pretty good strategist when it comes to stuff on the fly, because they mentioned stuff that happened. I believe it was just in the I think it was about season 2 back, where they had the whole thing of teachers fighting opposing as villains. Yep, and well, first time they actually have that Class B win. I guess they gotta have Class B wins sometime. Now I know what happens in match 4 and 5. 3, it's been a bit, but I do know what I can tell looks like the combatants for match B will be for the third round. Shudo's definitely part of this one. Shudo, Ingenium, and there's a couple others. We also have Tail. Yes, Tailman basically is one of them. And Tentacool. Yeah, 2 other characters. So if you look at it, it's like, okay, you have 2 characters who's got a good amount of development over the course of the series, Shudo and Genium, and 2 guys who've gotten very little. Yeah, it's something interesting though when it comes to this group. Like, let's say last group, 2 people. I mean, the first group had pretty much like most of the team about government development over the course of the series. Yeah, but we'll find out exactly what's going to happen next week, when of course they're going to have the third match. The third match is going to take up 2 episodes, and this one takes a good amount of chapters. Yeah, apparently round 3 takes up about 5 chapters. Round 1 was also 4 chapters. This one's like 1 chapter more. Yep. So we'll find out exactly what happens next week. Alright, so now moving on to the newest chapter of the manga, which is chapter 312. Yes, 312, which is known as Hired Gun. Starts off in a flashback where I think you have Deku talking to Hawks about their plan. And then, of course, you cut back to the present where Deku is confronted by the Hired Gun, who turns out she's actually Lady Knight. She's a former hero employed by the Safety Commission. Of course Deku would know that because he does research on everybody. Oh yeah, and she's actually an escaped convict. Yes. What was her crime? She killed a fellow superhero. Yep. Basically runs away, trying to get away from her as best he can. Don't do anything. Of course, he does get hit a couple times by her Quark, which is Quark's rifle. Yep, her Quark's rifle. Yep. And we see this one guy named Snipe, Quark homing. And then we see her. Tessa look like maybe her partner. I think this is maybe the hero she killed. She killed Snipe. It's possible, but who knows? But they aren't really saying. Of course, Deku gets hit in his his arm. Yeah, and of course she's like, "Oh, blocking 2 shots." It says the boss. Gotta get back to the boss quick. Like, yeah, I want someone here. He kept it hidden for now since Target's on his way. And then we have a flashback of when All for One breaks them out of prison. And he said, "Ah, the treacherous hero, the lovely Lady Nugent. What an honor to meet you." She's like, "All for One. There was a time when you were my target." And he's like, "I have a specific quest for you, unlike those others. In days to come, I expect a certain UAs to leave the school and operate solo. I want you to capture him and bring him to me. He's likely to have a number of big shots watching over him from a distance. So bide your time until they're split up enough. Perhaps a rainy day is your best bet? Why should I? And of course, All for One explains, you're helping those below the joint simple, almost they can go wild. I'm the only one who gets a homework assignment. You killed a fellow hero. You seek downfall of Foresight, but your dream will never be realized as long as the boy's around. I don't want to cling to phony hopes. It's like the boss. Oh, is she a Galaxy leader? Friend of yours? Nah. He's got some screw loose. Like, ooh, Overhaul. Yep. Surprised to see him back. I mean, haven't seen him since he was captured at the end of his own story arc. This feels like might come handy somehow. Yeah, Overhaul. The guy doesn't have a quirk more because Todoroki destroyed his hands. And they've been kept down by the Wicked Hero Society. And we show up another quirk verse. Probably from All for One. Probably about Airwalk. Okay, so they got missions to carry out. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting though they reveal that she's a former hero and she killed her partner. But why did she kill her partner for? That's something basically I think a lot of people will be curious about. But we'll probably find out next week per se. Yep. So yeah. Oh, by the way, the chapter itself, I give this roughly 8-9 out of 10. It's a great chapter, and I definitely can't wait for next week. And I'm not surprised picked up exactly where this left off, but the flashback was kind of weird where he's like talking to Hawks briefly, and then we cut back to present day. I would have thought we would go straight to present day. Then, well, the flashback of Hawks, probably that was necessary just to explain, like, Deku's, like, chatting with Hawks briefly. But, yeah, I think that in the case of Lady Nonchalant, I think this might be something that might go on for several chapters. How many chapters you probably say? I'd say about 6, maybe, at the most. Yep. But yeah, that's it for Sick Review. Stay tuned for my review for One Piece and then Boruto. That was pretty much it for today, okay? See you next video. Bye.